on how to mat and properly label your prints. So we're matting and labeling our prints. Here's an example of a matted and labeled print. You can see if you look really, really close, there is a label down at the bottom that I wrote on there. Everybody in the classroom, you can take a look. Okay, I did this one this morning in first hour and they totally blew up my video, so I have to do it again. So I have a couple of things here. Now, one thing that's important is your print should be totally done and dry before you do this, okay? My prints are not totally done, but for the sake of demonstrating for you guys, they're going to be done for now, okay? The first thing I'm going to do, I like to take a look at the prints that I have and evaluate how I want to cut them out. This one has a little bit of smudging here. You guys can see that at home. This one, you guys, you can see there's a little bit of smudging here. So this would be one where I would take a scissors and I would cut it out closer to the image because I don't really want those smudges to show up. That's just my personal preference. Now, this is not the traditional way of doing things, and people who are very particular and traditional artists are going to not be a big fan of doing things this way. This is a very non-traditional approach. I prefer to do it this way because it helps me save the fact that I smudged this print a little bit. I'm cutting this out, la 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 la. You guys are like, this is so interesting, Mrs. Walsh. Yeah, I know. Super interesting watching people cut things out with scissors. Great. Got it cut out. Now with this one, I would maybe consider cutting it out rectangular because it came out pretty clean. So one thing I like to do if I'm getting ready to cut something out rectangularly is I'm going to put it on my cutting mat because these cutting mats have these nice lines on them. Got these nice measurements. You guys can all see that. I like to use the measurements to help me line things up appropriately. So I put the paper down in the corner. Make sure it's all lined up. I'm going to use my ruler. And I have some pencils here. I'm going to find where I think would be a good spot. I think right here, this line. Line my ruler up. And just draw. Okay, same deal. Line your edge up on the bottom of the page. Find the right line here. Make sure it's all lined up. I can kind of see through the paper. That's why I'm doing it this way. And one more time. I'm trying to demonstrate how I'm trying to be as careful as possible because we do not want this to come out bad. We want it to come out nicely. And this is something where if you mat your prints in a poor fashion, it's going to look like gross. So you just want to make sure that you're doing your best to make sure everything is nice and straight and beautiful. I'm going to want it here. I'm lining it up with the mat. Okay. And then I can use either an X-Acto knife or a scissors to cut this out. I'm just going to cut one side of it out so you guys can see. Okay, so I would finish cutting this out. I'm not going to finish cutting it out right now because you guys understand how scissors work. Okay. Now, step 2 is to have the papers that you would like to mat your design onto. This one, I'm going to mat onto the brown, and then I think I'm going to cut it out around the brown and then mat it on the white. So I'm going to make it a little bit layered, a little fancy. I'm going to take my print, and I'm going to use my Elmer's glue stick here and go around the edges specifically. This is where you're going to probably want to keep a wipe nearby so you can wipe the table down when you're done. And then do like a big X across the middle. Cap back on. Find a good spot in a corner. Press it flat and beautiful. The best you can. You guys will do a better job than I'm doing right now because I'm just trying to get through this. You don't have to sit and stare at me the whole class. then I think I'm going to cut this one out too because I like the little bit of brown around there. I think it complements my design. All about making it look really, really professional, really clean. These are some ways that you can print your work and get it ready to sell. If you are interested in pursuing this kind of thing and making a little bit of money on the side, you want to be able to professionally print and mat your work so that your customer will be impressed by it and hang it in their house. Okay. And I've got this small ass sheet of paper, same kind of deal, except this time I'm going to mat it just like that. I think I like how that looks. So again, glue stick around the edges and a couple of sweeps through the middle here. I'm going to lay it down so I have a little bit of extra space at the bottom. Make sure it's nice and straight, push it nice and flat. Grab my mat, get ready to cut a straight line. So I want to make sure my paper is nice and straight. I'm going to cut it right about here. Easier to cut a straight line if you draw a straight line first. If you wing it, it may not turn out. Excellent. There we go. Here's my matted, beautiful print. Can I get a lot of ooh? Ah, nice job, Mrs. Walsh. That looks so nice. Okay, but I'm not quite done yet. I'm not quite done yet. Next up is going to be it's going to be the labeling. You have to label your prints. Now, if you have a lot of prints that look exactly the same, like this guy I have here, I have like 6 or 7. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 of these. 6 of these that look exactly the same, more or less. That means when I write my addition number, it's going to be like a fraction. It's going to be, this is print number 1 out of 7. The next one I'm at would be 2 out of 7. The next one I'm at would be 3 out of 7. Does that make sense to you all? Can I get a yes, yes, ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Excellent. So that's the addition number. The addition number goes in the bottom left-hand corner. So you guys, this is print 1 of 7. Or I think it was supposed to be 6. There's a 7th one somewhere. Then the middle is your title. I'm titling this Tom Nook. I like to put quotations around it. Tom Nook, that's my title. Tom Nook, that's my title. And then in the bottom right-hand corner is my signature. And the year, if you want to put the year. Okay, so we have signature and year. So again, edition number, title of your piece, signature, year if you want the year. Okay, there we go. That's how to very quickly, very easily mat and label your prints. Now this is a creative print right here. This one that I'm holding up right now, that's a creative print. Because I don't have a lot of these that look the same, I only made 1 of these. This is 1 of 1. There's only 1. So it's 1 of 1, just 1, okay? The creative prints are 1 of 1. Your clean prints are likely gonna be 1 of however many of the ones you did, okay? Next, I would take photos of these, upload them to my Google Slides because they're matted and they're labeled. And then once I've updated my Google Slides assignment, I can then say, hey, Mrs. Walsh, can you display these? And I'll be like, of course, I will display them. I would love to. And I'm going to hang them in the hallway. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? No. Excellent. You guys get to work. You guys who are going outside, don't get to work, just have a seat. Hello.